Good afternoon. Good morning today. I usually do this in the afternoon, but good morning. I'm here with Chris McCallion, co-founder of MB1 Capital Partners, which is a private real estate investment company in Belmar, New Jersey. Chris, how are you today, and how is your family?
We are fine. Thank you very much, Rich. Hope the same for you.
We're all good here. I know I spoke to your partner Joel last week, and he and his family are well too. That's the most important thing.
Yes, we've been fortunate.
Chris, you spent the majority of your career in the energy and the real estate markets until somewhere around 2007 when you decided to build and open a brewery. Tell us a little about what made you make that career-changing decision.
Well, I was a partner in a company called Caithness Energy, based out of Manhattan. We built, owned, operated power facilities throughout the United States and in Asia. We did geothermal, wind, solar, and natural gas-fired power projects. Around 2007 or so, we sold a lot of the projects, and then I sold my interest in that company around then. And I'm a guy who's from the Jersey Shore. I grew up in Marlborough, and but my business was in Manhattan. I traveled a lot. And after I sold the company, I said to myself, what do I do next? I was looking for something to do locally. Like I said, I grew up here. I raised my family here, and I was looking for something to do local. And I met up with a guy who had a Jersey Shore themed brewery idea, John Merklin, and in 2009. And so we started that back then, and started the brewery back then. We actually contract brewed our beer until 2014 when we built our own brewery.
Now that brewery that you did build, it's the Beach House Brewery in Belmont. You purchased the old Friedman's Bakery, which had been on that site for about 65 years, and undertook a conversion process to turn that into a brewery. How many months did that take you to convert that building into a brewery?
Well, it's an interesting story. It took us about 12 months, but like you said, it's a big building in downtown Belmar. It's the old Freeman's Bakery. It sat there since, I think, the late 1940s. And Herb Friedman, who was the owner for all those years, he had over 50 bakeries, retail bakery outlets throughout the state of New Jersey. We bought the building in early 2014, my partner Joel and I. The concept was to, since we're in the real estate business as well, the concept was to put the brewery in the middle of the building with the less valuable space where the bakery used to be, and then we would ring that area with our tap room, where we actually will serve the beer. And also we were able to develop in that more valuable space around the building 7 separate tenant units. Then that's worked out pretty well. We really tried to, because it was kind of a historic building and a lot of people had nostalgic ties to it, we tried to maintain the exterior to the greatest extent we could, and actually the interior as well. So we were happy with the outcome. Where it was a project we were both very proud of.
When a lot of people think about brewing beer, they think of Budweiser or Coors or Miller. Tell us a little bit about your business and what it is to be a local brewery in Monmouth County.
Well, I mean, we've been around since 2009. It was the beginning of the craft brewing, this craze that we've gone through the last 10 years or so. There's the Monmouth County, Ocean County, the Jersey Shore. There's a real passion for craft beer, and the laws didn't open up like they did in other parts of the country as early. So New Jersey was a little late to the game, but we certainly have caught up. We have as everything in New Jersey, as I found, we have a very loyal customer base, and it makes it fun.
No, that's good to develop that type of customer base. Now, You also had an area that was open to the public where you had a tap room with 15 beers. You hosted tours, and of course that had to stop during this pandemic. What kind of financial impact, if any, did that leave on your business?
Well, losing the tap room and the private parties that we were able to do, we were able to do kind of over 100 parties last year, not all private, but we have a big tap room. It's about 6,000 square feet, and we're able to have various events going on all at the same time. We lost both the tap room and all those private parties, which account for a little less than 50% of our revenues in 2019. So certainly that's been quite a hit for us. One thing I have to say is that we've had a unexpected pickup in actual beer sales from the brewery packaged goods, both cans and growlers and kegs that we were allowed to continue to sell, curbside pickup, etc. That revenue item has gone up many-fold. And once again, a testament to our customers and how they have supported us during this time.
You just mentioned the curbside pickup, but you also started a delivery program, correct?
Yes, we actually the curbside pickup we started pretty quickly after we had to close down because of the pandemic. So we built an online beer store. We always had an online store, but it was always for things like clothing and glasses and things like that. We quickly built a online store so that we could do a customer-safe curbside pickup. That picked up really quick. We were also, the governor allowed us, the ABC and the governor allowed us to start a delivery service. We weren't allowed to do that prior to the pandemic. We were a little late to the game. I'll take blame for that. But about a month ago, we started to make home deliveries, and that's been a tremendous success. It's succeeded well past what we thought it would be, and certainly we hope that we're able to do that going forward.
When you started the delivery business, did you have to add equipment, trucks, new technology, etc.?
We added a new truck. We had a truck. We added a second truck. We have a mapping service now so we can keep track of where everybody is, etc. And like I said before, linking in the online store to our POS system, etc. There were a lot of upgrades we had to make it work. But all that stuff is readily available, and even a guy like me could figure out how to make it work.
How about the contract brewing services? Are you still providing that?
Yeah, it's not a big part of our business. We have a couple of customers that we provide regular contracts brewing service for. We started out, as I mentioned before, as contract brewing up in Rochester, New York. We were actually making our beer up at the old Genesee brewery in Rochester, New York when we started. And because of that, we've always wanted to try and help out people who are new to the industry, so we continue to do that, and I think we will make it. We'll continue to make it a part of our business. It's the only problem is, we have a lot of demand for our product, and we need to make sure that we're not squeezing out what we need by taking up tank capacity with our contract brewing customers. So we're going to stay with it. We're going to continue to service our current customers. But like I said, we have to try and focus on ours first.
Before this pandemic started, Chris, let's say around before February 15th, 2020, how many full-time or part-time employees did you have? And were you able to retain them, or did you have to furlough or lay anybody off?
We had 10 full-time employees and we had 10 part-time employees. And fortunately, we've been able to keep them busy, and we have not furloughed or laid off anyone.
And have you applied for the stimulus, the PPP program?
Yes, we did, and that's helped out quite a bit. A lot of people read about how difficult it was, except our experience was not that. It was a pretty simple process, and it's helped out, and it has served its intended purpose in that it's allowed at least us to continue keeping our employees employed and paid with their benefits.
Well, yeah, that's good. That's good that it's helping you out. You know, a lot of people have had trouble getting it from their banks. A lot of people can't figure out how to use it. A lot of people are still struggling with the forgiveness part of it. But
Sure.
you know, initially, if it does what it was intended to do, that's the important thing.
Well, it has for us. I can't make that statement for everybody, but it certainly has worked out for us.
So a hypothetical question: how comfortable would you feel right now about dining in a sit-down restaurant, or even ordering a beer in your tap room if it was open?
Well, I guess it depends on how the restaurant or brewery handles the reopening. We've been spending a bunch of time lately, now that we know that we can open up outside on June 15th. We just heard that the governor on our phase 2 reopening is allowing breweries to open up properly social distance with a number of safeguards to open up on June 15th. So we've been doing a lot of research as to best practices by the CDC, by our industry groups that help us out on this, insurance companies who help us out on this, and the state of New Jersey put out some guidelines recently as well. So we're spending a bunch of time looking at that, and we're not going to open up until we feel right about it, and that we can safeguard our employees' safety, our customers' safety, and safeguard our reputation as well.
I know because I was involved in a transaction. I know that last year you purchased a culinary retail consumption license in Belmar, and you were moving forward to transfer that license to the Beach House Brewery to open a restaurant and to expand your catering facilities in conjunction with the brewery. Where are you in that process now?
Well, my partner Joel, he bought the license in the real estate. We're in the process of having that license transferred to Beach House. I own the license at Beach House, and the idea behind it is to merge the two licenses and get what is referred to as a restricted brewery license, which the more common term for it is to turn ourselves into a brew pub. We've made all those applications to the borough of Belmar and to the state ABC. It's going through the process. Obviously, both of those organizations have a lot of probably more critical tasks right now, and it's been a slower process than it would have been otherwise. But I think we're making good progress, and we expect it to get approved, and we expect that to be able to open up in the next few months. Obviously, the concept here is that as a brewery, we were not allowed to operate a restaurant. So therefore, we wanted to give our customers additional options. And by having this restricted brewery license, we'll be able to open up a restaurant. We'll be able to serve alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages other than beer, and give our customers many more options when they come to our establishment.
Well, look, we all know that the world has changed since you decided to make that decision last year, especially in the hospitality industry, which you're a part of. Do you foresee any changes in your original plans for fitting out the restaurant and catering space that you may have to alter now?
I don't think so. I think certainly in the short term, we're going to have to social distance, et cetera. But I certainly think that over time, it's hard to predict what would change, but I would imagine that we can get back fairly closely to where we were prior to the pandemic. Basically what we're going to do there, I mentioned before, Rich, that the building, the old Freedman's building, the current Beach House building, has a number of third-party tenant spaces. One of them is a restaurant that's adjacent to the tap house, the tap room. We had a tenant in there. His lease expired. He's left, and we held on to it because our plan all along was to try and turn ourselves into a brew pub. So what we'll be able to do right now, that restaurant is separated from the tap room by a wall, and that's because breweries under the current brewery laws can't operate a restaurant. We'll be able to take down that wall and have both of those spaces open to each other and serve food from the restaurant into the tap room. And then down the road also turn that restaurant kind of into a different dining experience where it's a sit-down restaurant that's not related to the brewery. We want to keep the atmosphere as a brewery. That's our concept. If, like I said before, also New Jersey was a little further behind in developing some of the brewery laws in other places in the country. But if you go to some other places in the country, Pennsylvania, et cetera, there are a number of very large-scale breweries that serve food and have other beverage options, and that's kind of what we're aiming for.
I think you answered this question previously, but let me ask it again. You know, because of this lockdown and liquor stores being deemed an essential business, I don't know how that happened, but it was. You know, the alcohol sales rose 27% in April, and the beer sales were also up over 16% through mid-May. Have your beer sales, have you noticed that increased as well?
We have. We certainly noticed takeout packaged goods sales. They, like I mentioned, they've gone up many-fold. Now, obviously, our taproom revenues have gone to zero. So I can't say overall we're selling more beer than we were before. We're not. But certainly the takeout portion of it and the distribution where we actually sell to our wholesale distributors who then sell on to the liquor stores, et cetera, that business is up considerably. So, you know, the statistics that you just read off, I understand them absolutely, but overall, certainly revenues are down.
Now, we mentioned before about the liquor license that Joel purchased, your partner, and you also purchased that real estate. It used to be the old Jack's Tavern on 10th Avenue. I'm just curious, what plans do you have for that real estate?
Well, our major business is real estate, and we love the area. We love Belmar. We love the Jersey Shore. So things have slowed down. We were looking at different options prior to the pandemic, and the pandemic has affected everything, not just hospitality. It's affected real estate as well. So some of those things have slowed down, but our intention is to redevelop that property. I can't announce any plans right now, but you know, I think we'll be able to announce something fairly soon. But we're very excited about the opportunity to develop another project in Belmar.
You ever think to yourself, Chris, when this pandemic hit, that, you know what, maybe I should have stayed in the energy or real estate business?
Well, I can't say I did, honestly, Rich. I mean, I've been in business for over 35 years now in the energy, real estate, hospitality industries, and during those 35 years, there's been a lot of crisis, and it's always looks dark in the middle of the crisis, and you always wonder how you're going to get through and what's going to happen and what's going to be like after the crisis passes, and things always do change. There always are changes after these crises, but you know, we as a people, we always find a way through it, and you know, we band together, and I have no doubt that that's going to happen again here. So no, I don't regret. I mean, the timing wasn't great, but I certainly don't sit around and regret it, and we're looking forward to it, and we think it's going to turn out fine.
I've done several of these interviews, as I mentioned to you before we started online here, with restaurants, restaurateurs, caterers, lawyers, bankers, insurance companies, and they say the same thing that you do. We've gone through a lot of these these crises, whether it be the real estate crash in the 90s or 9/11 or Hurricane Superstorm Sandy, but everybody says that this one is the worst out of all. And it's really due to the uncertainty of knowing, is anything gonna be normal again until what I call V-Day, when we get a vaccine?
Right, right. I completely agree. I mean, we basically, unlike those other crises, we've had to shut down our businesses. And now we were deemed an essential business, so it didn't affect us as dramatically as it did for some other people who actually had no revenue coming in. So that's unprecedented. We've never seen anything like that before. And obviously, we don't know what the future holds, but I believe in our system, and I believe in the people of our country, that we're going to figure out a way, and we'll be back. There'll be changes, certainly, but we'll be back and thriving again soon.
Yeah, sometimes we gotta go through the trials and the tribulations, and if we persevere through it, usually something better comes out on the other end.
I agree totally.
You stick it. Before we end today, Chris, is there anything that you'd like to say to your loyal customer base?
Mm-hmm. Well, we want to say thank you. We couldn't have gotten through this period, at least to the point where we're opening up soon again, without you. The outpouring of support was tremendous, and all we can say is that we think we have an exciting future ahead of us. We're going to give you additional options as far as food, as far as other beverages, other entertainment, etc. So I think our best days are ahead of us, and you can count on us to be there for you, just like you were for us.
You said thank you to your customers. I want to say thank you, Chris, for your time this morning. I hope this crisis ends for you, for all of our fellow small business owners, and for every American. Just take it one day at a time. Keep the faith.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Rich.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.